The Vanishing at Blackwater Asylum, a true crime story that still haunts New England. Prologue. The asylum's cursed foundations. The Blackwater Asylum for the criminally insane wasn't just another abandoned building. It was a monument to human suffering, built on land that had been considered cursed long before the first stone was laid. Local Wabanaki tribes had avoided the area for generations, speaking of a thin place where spirits walked freely. When construction began in 1893, workers reported tools disappearing and ghostly figures watching from the trees. The asylum's first superintendent, Dr. Horace Blackwater, dismissed these claims as superstition, until he hanged himself from the rafters in 1901, leaving behind a diary filled with frantic entries about the voices in the walls. For nearly a century, Blackwater operated as a dumping ground for society's unwanted, the violently insane, shell-shocked war veterans, and inconvenient relatives. By the 1950s, whispers of unethical experiments and unexplained deaths had become too loud to ignore. The final straw came in 1978, when orderly Thomas Grady reported seeing patient number 9, a man who hadn't been on any official records, walking through solid walls. The asylum was shuttered within the month, its remaining patients transferred, its dark history sealed behind padlocked doors. Chapter 1. The Ill-Fated Expedition. October 31st, 1992. The air smelled of rotting leaves and impending snow as the paranormal truth seekers then crunched up the overgrown asylum driveway. They'd chosen Halloween night for maximum atmosphere, never suspecting they'd become part of the asylum's legend. Mark Reynolds adjusted his headlamp, its beam cutting through the pre-dawn gloom. "Remember, we're here to document, not to disturb," he told the group, though his own skepticism was beginning to waver. The unlocked front gate, its heavy chain lying in the weeds like a discarded snake, had unsettled him more than he cared to admit. Lisa Nguyen checked her equipment for the third time. Her modified recorder could pick up frequencies beyond human hearing, and it was already registering strange fluctuations. "Guys," she said, her breath visible in the cold air, "we're not alone here." What they didn't know, their arrival had been anticipated. Chapter 2. The Descent into Madness. The asylum's interior was a time capsule of decay. Peeling wallpaper revealed layers of disturbing graffiti, not from vandals, but from patients. "He lives in the walls," was scrawled in what might have been blood near the admissions desk. As they explored, Derek Cole's medical training kicked in. "These restraints show signs of recent use," he noted, running fingers over leather cuffs in the treatment room. The metal buckles gleamed suspiciously clean amidst the dust. Sophia Russo made the crucial discovery in the records room. Buried beneath moldy files, she found a 1963 intake photo showing a patient with no face, just a blurred smear where features should be. The name tag read simply, Number 9. Chapter 3. The Ninth Cell Revelation. The basement corridor seemed to pulse with malignant energy. The air grew thick, making flashlights dim and camera lenses fog. When they reached the infamous ninth cell, even Mark's skepticism crumbled. The door wasn't just locked, it appeared fused shut, its surface ice-cold despite the autumn warmth. Strange symbols formed patterns that hurt to look at for too long. When Jake forced it open with a crowbar, the metal screamed like a living thing. Inside, the walls were covered in overlapping tally marks, not scratched, but burned into the stone. The straitjacket on the floor looked decades old, yet when Derek touched it, fresh blood smeared his fingers. Then the whispers began. Not through Lisa's recorder, but all around them, voices speaking in tongues no one recognized. The camera captured something far worse. Shadowy figures emerging from the walls, their elongated fingers reaching for Jake. Chapter 4. The Vanishing. Chaos erupted. Flashlights failed. The temperature plummeted. In the confusion, no one saw Jake taken. They only heard his final, choked scream cut off mid-breath. When light returned, the ninth cell door stood closed again, its surface pristine as if untouched for decades. Of Jake, there was no sign, except for his camera, still recording static in the hallway. The remaining 4 fled, but the asylum wasn't done with them. Later review of footage showed something impossible. For 3 hours after Jake disappeared, the camera periodically focused itself on empty air, as if tracking an invisible presence moving through the halls. Chapter 5. The Aftermath and Investigations. Police searches turned up nothing. Bloodhounds lost the scent at the 9th cell door. The official report listed Jake as a runaway, despite his abandoned wallet and untouched bank accounts. But the strangest evidence emerged later. A 1995 convenience store security tape in Bangor showed a man resembling Jake buying cigarettes. When the clerk turned around, the customer had vanished, leaving only a puddle of black water on the counter. In 2001, urban explorers reported hearing knocking from inside the 9th cell's walls. When they broke through, they found only a single item, Jake's digital watch, still running but displaying the wrong year, 1967. Sophia Russo, committed to a psychiatric facility after her return, would spend hours whispering to empty corners. Staff reported her room temperature dropping dramatically during these conversations. Epilogue: the unanswered questions. The Blackwater case remains open, a puzzle with missing pieces. Who is patient number 9 really? Asylum records show 9 cells but only 8 patients on the night of the 1978 closure. Why do all photographs taken inside the asylum eventually develop strange anomalies, even years later? What explains the recent TikTok trend where users report seeing a figure matching Jake's description standing behind them in mirrors, but only when watching Blackwater footage? The asylum was demolished in 2004, yet visitors still report hearing phantom screams from the empty lot. Some claim to find fresh tally marks scratched into nearby trees. And on foggy nights, a lone figure is sometimes seen walking the property's perimeter, always stopping where the 9th cell once stood. Final warning asterisk: this case is still considered active by paranormal investigators. Those who research it too deeply often report strange occurrences, misplaced items, phantom footsteps, and in 3 documented cases, brief disappearances. Proceed with caution. The 9th cell may be gone, but whatever lived there still hungers.